Welcome everyone to our Monday evening LifeWave business training Zoom. We only have a couple more weeks before Christmas. Are you all ready? It's kind of scary to think how fast it's going. Well, Connie is here tonight to talk more about Eric Worre, and a lot more. So I'm going to hand it over to Connie.
Fabulous. Thank you, Anne. I love when Anne starts it off. She's so professional and she just kicks it off exactly right. Thank you, Anne. So we did a training 2 weeks ago, and that I suggested to everybody. We watched a couple of the shorter videos. Eric Worre, if you go onto YouTube and you search Eric Worre, Worre, and you go to his playlist, you're going to see a list of videos that says inviting, the gateway skill. And that is because this business is about inviting. It is the master skill to learn in this business. Is it the invitation? And the invitation can be to many things. The invitation can be to watch a video. The invitation could be to take a little bit of a look. The invitation could be to come to a webinar or a Zoom. The invitation could be to come to an event. The invitation might be to come to a home party or to come to a bigger, more regional event, or the big event of them all, the Mac Daddy convention. So in that training, if you're on here and you haven't watched that training from 2 weeks ago, back into the Telegram group. And 2 weeks ago, you will see the recording posted there. And I'd love for you to take a look at that one, because we watch a couple of his videos that are the first key ones, get you kind of understanding this business, that it's never about you. This isn't about pitching somebody. This isn't about what you're trying to say or sell. This is about asking questions. And in that, Eric talked about something that I think is really important. And that's the piece of, we're more like consultants than we are salespeople. When a consultant comes in, a consultant starts asking questions. They start trying to figure out and listen to what's going on with the person that they're consulting for. You know, if they're coming into a corporation, I'm a branding expert, I'm going to get as much intel as I can get of what currently is working, not working, going on, improving on, what is the outcome that that company wants, right? And then from there, I'm going to advise. I'm going to, advise them what they might do. And that's the end of it. So as a consultant, what we're doing is the same thing. We're coming in and we're asking questions. We're trying to find out what's going on with them. What might they like to improve in their life from a health standpoint or an opportunity standpoint? Maybe as I've talked about at previous conventions, if you're there and you're all about helping people get better in their health, yet they can't make month and money meet, or they are they're struggling to put food on the table, keep a roof over their head, send a kid to college, then you talking about something they have to purchase probably isn't something they're open to listening to. And so that's when it may be, hey, have you ever thought of a parallel stream of income? So how you talk to someone and what you offer has everything to do with what their needs are. So as a consultant, we're going in and it's about them. And then we're advising, we're bringing them to the team. We're getting them on the calls like Michael's Monday Miracle call and Robin and Gregory's Morning Miracle and our Sunday night team Q&A. Tuesday night practitioner Zoom. We have all kinds of places to bring them information. And then from there, we're finding out what else do they need to know to get started. And then we're advising, maybe advising on giving them the options of their packs, or advising on maybe where they might want to come to get more information. So if you can kind of think of that it's always about them and not us, it's helpful. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend going back and watching. If you did, great, because we're going to add on to it tonight. And of course, I kind of recommended at some point, even when we're done with this, that you go back and re-listen to all of his again. It doesn't take that long. They're all anywhere from 6 minutes to about 12 minutes. But this is the master skill. And if you're not doing this piece of the business, you're really not doing the business. So tonight, what we're going to do is I am going to start off first, and let's do Let me do a screen share here. And click on my sound. All right, so let's listen to that. This is one of the next pieces. He talks about the greatest development in network marketing. And what he's talking about is text messaging. So let's kind of listen to a little bit on Eric talking about how to utilize this effectively.
The world changed in the last few years, and it changed in the form of text messaging became the communication tool of choice. I rarely have to tell people to turn their phones off anymore because everybody's phones are already off. Remember when ringtones were a big deal? They were a big deal, billion-dollar industry. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody wants to hear a ringtone. Something happened just in the last few years where we used to be excited when our phone rang, and now we're annoyed. Our phone rings and we're annoyed. It's like, oh, who's that? And is it our preference to answer or is it our preference to mute it? Mute it. Aren't we mean? Mute. Boop. I'll get to him later. How are you going to get to him later? Text. That's the world today. That's the world. My daughter taught me how to start on text. I'd call my daughter. She was in school at the time when this first started. Call her at college. Hey, my daughter. And it goes straight to voicemail. She's sitting in her room doing nothing, looking at the phone, watching it. Go to voicemail. Leave a message. Hey, call me. And then she texts me right away. Sorry, Dad. I'm in a study group. Can't talk right now. Love you so much. Emoticon. Heart, 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 heart. What did you need? I need you to call me back. I'm paying for this stuff. I'd love to. I can't right now. Right? She's training me. So I respond, and then I'd stop calling and I'd start texting. And then she'd immediately respond. So she started rewarding the immediate response. Started giving me, I'll teach you how I want you to communicate with me. In touch and out of reach, Papa, you know? Okay. And I started to like it. Remember when you started doing that? I'm talking about the days before you took your phone to the bathroom. Remember? When you think, oh, I can talk to people while I'm in meetings. I can I could do all, I'm a multitasker. Solving problems, boy, that bathroom visit was productive. I got everything done. Amazing. You know what I'm talking about, right? So this all happened. It's the best thing that ever happened in network marketing. Best. Because if this is the gateway skill, guess what's the scariest thing in the world in network marketing? Scariest thing in the world. You join, call your prospect. What? Call them. Just call them. What am I supposed to say? Just do it. Right? So then you call the first one and they go, boo, and you say, I'm never doing that again, ever. Done with this. This is nonsense. Right? Remember? But then if your desire was strong enough, then you'd pick up the phone again. And my early mentors told me to fall in love with the phone. Duct tape the phone to my head and just dial for dollars. Just dial, 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 dial. That's what I did. If I'm not on the phone, I'm not making money. Right? This is my money machine. Setting appointments. Dial for dollars. Duct tape it to your head. Deal with it. Get over it. You're scared of making phone calls? I can fix that in one day. Make 100 phone calls. That's my training. That's where I came from. That's the school I came from. Some of you know. You were around when I was in that school, right? Here's the cool thing. I would do it because I was so hungry. I wanted it so bad. But I would tell my people to do it. And then they tell me they would do it. And then they go home and they wouldn't do it. They'd lie to me. Did you call anybody? Oh, yeah, I called tons of people. Couldn't reach anybody, but I called tons of people. Show me your phone. No, you didn't. They just won't do it. They're just petrified. And if they're scared, here's the thing. Give me somebody under 30. Under 30. Anybody? You're under 30? Okay, how old are you? 26. All right, 26 years old. If you call 100 people that are not your very close friends or family that might be worried that you're in the hospital or something, if you call 100 people outside of that group, how many are going to answer the phone? Honest.
Maybe 150.
20? 20 out of 100. Okay? And those 20 is going to be, what the heck? Why are you calling? Right? Now, if you text the same 100 people, how many are going to respond?
At least 2/3.
2/3. 60 to 80%? Yeah. We've created a culture where it's kind of rude not to respond to a text. I sent them a text, and I see that they read it. And they didn't answer. So in this process, here's the great news. The great news for us. It doesn't take a lot of training for you to send a text message and you schedule an appointment. It doesn't take much. If we were working together and we had time to do this in this course right now, I would work with you and sit with you until you've sent at least 50 text messages. And we wouldn't leave the room until you've sent at least 50. Because if you'll send 50 text messages, then you're going to schedule 25 appointments. That's the numbers. You're going to schedule 25 appointments. Now, what do you say? What do you say? No. What do you say in the text? It's actually very simple. You can just say, hey, how you doing? You can say hello. You can say coffee, ? You can say, what's your schedule look like? What are you up to? Miss you, haven't seen you in a long time. Pick it, anything. And then let them know, hey, listen, I get back, in town on such and such a day. I'd like to get together with you for coffee or something, get caught up on your life and let you get caught up on mine. I got some exciting things going on. What's your schedule look like? Tuesday or Thursday? What works better? That kind of thing. Schedule an appointment. All right, fantastic. Talk to you then. I got some really cool stuff happening. See you then. Right? Simple. So you'll be able to fill your calendar up. Okay, this is one strategy to fill it up. Now, here's what I've got to tell you. What if they say, yeah, I'd love to meet with you so long as it's not about that network marketing company you've been telling me about for the last forever? What do? You still meet with them. Yeah, forget about business for a minute. And if I made you feel uncomfortable, I'm sorry I made you feel uncomfortable. Let's just get together and have some coffee. Let me find out what's going on in your life. I'll let you know what's going on in mine. It'll be great. Fantastic. Oh, you mean this can actually be about friendships that aren't based upon them being a prospect? Yes. Yes. So all we're trying to do is get together. As if you have $1,000 to be able to give them and you can't tell them until you get together. What would you do if you cared about them? Oh, come on, we really do need to get together. And let's say you only had, let's just for fun, say that you had 30 days to give $1,000 to as many people as you could possibly imagine. And then at 30 days, that gift went away. And all you had to do was meet with them for 5 minutes. And you couldn't tell them about the gift. All you had to do was get together. How many appointments could you set? A lot. How many people would you want to help? A lot. So, Texting is almost like cheating. It's as close to network marketing cheating as there is. It's like giving you the answers to the tests. It literally is. It's so nuts. Because you have the ability to be able to just send a text, set up an appointment. You don't get all kinds of questions. You don't get objections. You don't get nothing but appointments. It's amazing. You don't have to know what to say. Somebody asks, even if they do ask you a question, you have time to think about it. Instead of being on the phone and not knowing what to say right afterwards. It's amazing. It's the best. Plus, it duplicates. Plus, if I get a brand new person, you're brand new, I can have you send 10 text messages within the first hour of you joining. I could sit there with you while you do it. And now I got you moving in action, and I'll come help you with the presentations. It'll be awesome. So it overcomes fear, gets people moving, gets people into action, and it gets results. Leaving voicemails does not get results. Inviting by phone. I'm a big, huge fan of trying to find things that have been very difficult for people over time and make them easier. This is one of those things. And every step of this is critical, and you're going to find yourself using these little steps in all different aspects of your life. First step is be in a hurry. There's something psychological about a person who's moving, who's got something going. Also, it lets people know that you're not going to take up a whole lot of their time. You get somebody on the phone, and you say, hey, listen, I only got a few minutes. Most people are like, whew, good, because I'm busy. Right? So if you don't say that in their mind, they're like, how long is this going to be? Okay? So I'm in a hurry. I'm running out the door. Don't have a lot of time. I'm glad I caught you. But the first thing out of your mouth is that urgency is a big deal. Get that urgency out right away. Second is a compliment. You have to do this. What you'll see with the top earners, find the top earners in your company, find the top earners. You're going to find that they just compliment people all the time. They compliment their downline, they compliment their upline, they compliment their prospects, they compliment the company. They just, by nature, on a subconscious level, they figured out this works. Because once you compliment somebody, they are in groove with you. They're in alignment with you. Really fast. So if what's your name?
Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Nice to meet you. So if I call you and say, hey, Stephanie, listen, I'm so glad I caught you. I'm running out the door. Don't have a lot of time. But listen, one of the things I appreciate about you is you've got one of the most positive energy, open-minded, bright, happy person all the time. Every time you walk into a room, you brighten the room. Oh, you're welcome.
I want to marry you now.
Oh. So she says, thank you. Oh, that's really, really good. Oh, I appreciate that. When was the last time you got a compliment? It might have been a while. Now, some of your prospects, you're going to have to work at it, you know? It's like, you've got nice notebook, a great notebook you have. You can compliment a cynic. You can compliment a negative, caustic, pessimistic person. You can. Just for fun. Do it. Do it just for fun. I'll tell you how. You find a negative, caustic, pessimistic person and say, you know what? I don't have a lot of time, and I know you don't have a lot of time either. But I was trying to think of who's the most critical thinker I know. Who's the person who could take any good idea and find something wrong with it? Who's the person who could figure out the scam behind the thing? I thought about you. You're a genius at this. You can, just for fun. Right? And they'll go, well, thank you. I've been working on that skill for years now. So, You got to compliment them on anything, their parenting skills, their smile, their hair, their positive outlook, the fact that they want more for their family, or they're an incredible parent. Whatever, they're in amazing shape. Pick it. Doesn't matter what it is. Just know this. Whether or not they decide to do something with you, they're going to feel better for the call. For that. Okay? So, you compliment them. Then what's step 3 in your workbook? Make the invitation. Now, you're going to be inviting them to a tool, or you're going to be inviting them to an event. If you're inviting to a tool, it's super easy. You want to think about there's 3 different approaches, and it's based upon your relationship with them, okay? There's direct. I have something for you. I have some credibility with you. We have a peer relationship, whatever. You have a problem, I have a solution, okay? A lot of people use this for every single person that they have as a prospect, and it's a mistake because it can be offensive to some. You know, some people don't want to be told they have a problem. But sometimes they do. Sometimes, you know, what's your name? Mike. Mike and I are friends. I call Mike and I say, Mike, I'm in a hurry. I give him a compliment and say, listen, when you told me you were sick and tired of your job, were you serious? Or you just kidding around? I was serious. I think I got a way for you to get out of it. Maybe not right away, but in a little bit of time. I got to wait for you to transition out of that thing, not have to work for those people anymore. And then I make the invite, you know. If I sent you something that would explain it all, would you take a look at it? See what I mean? Of course. So a direct approach. I know some area of dissatisfaction, or they have some respect for me. Direct approach. Now, indirect approach is for advice, support, analysis. I need your help. Would you check this out for me? Would you look at this for me? Would you support me? Can I practice with you? Would you evaluate this? Would you pick it apart? Negative person, would you rip this apart for me and tell me all the mistakes that are involved in it? See what I'm saying? Indirect approach, and tons of scripts there. And then super indirect. Super indirect is for the very influential or super high egos. They cannot hear a regular pitch from you. So you have to take it away from a super direct or super indirect. And here's how you take it away. This opportunity isn't for you. I wouldn't even dream of showing it to you. But I do know this, you're an influential person. You're a powerful person. You know people. And you probably know people that might be able to help me expand a business in this area. Who do you know that's ambitious and dissatisfied, maybe money motivated, entrepreneurial, that could help me grow this, because there's a lot of money on the table. Now, it's not for you, but if you have somebody that might be a candidate, let me know. And I'll make it worth your while. They can't help but to connect the dots. They cannot help it. But their ego won't let you do a direct approach or even an indirect approach. So super indirect works incredibly well. For those influentials you're going to go around and network with and connect with, super indirect approach is awesome. So, invite. The invite, there's a whole bunch of different examples. And then you're going to ask the question for a tool. If I got you the tool, would you review it? If I sent you a link, would you watch it, click on it? If I got you on a 3-way call with the person that I work with, would you take the call? If I, would you? Okay? The most powerful question in all of network marketing is if I, would you? That needs to become second nature for you. If I do this, will you do that? It's reciprocal. It works. I just tell you, it's one of the universal things that works. Literally every country in the world, every company in the world, it works. If I, would you? They say yes. Then what do? You do the first confirmation. First confirmation you'll see in your notes. When do you think you can see it for sure? When do you think you can review it for sure? when would you be available for that three-way call? When could you do it for sure? Now, if we stick on the tool, the next question after that, they'll give you a time. You must wait for them to give the time. When could they do it for sure? They give you the time, then you say, so, let's say, what's your name, sir?
Eddie.
Hi, Eddie. How you doing? So I get a hold of Eddie, and I do the invite, and if I sent you a link, would you watch it?
Yes.
Yes, he'd watch it. When do you think you could see it for sure? It's about 20 minutes long.
Tonight.
Tonight? Yeah. All right. So if I call you tomorrow, you'll have seen it for sure, right?
Absolutely.
It's the next question. So if I call you after he said tonight, then you'll have seen it for sure.
What time are you going to call me?
What's the best number and time for me to call?
Well, I have this number. You call me.
Call you on your cell?
Yeah, on my cell at 10 o'clock.
Call you in the cell at 10 o'clock tomorrow?
10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yes.
All right, 10
please.
o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll talk to you then.
Thank you.
So the invite's done, right? Very clean, very tight, very simple, and it's specific. If I just say, if I give you a link, would you watch it? He says, sure. Okay, fine, bye. He's not watching it. Now I'm calling him back. Now I'm bugging him. Now he's screening my call. Oh, yeah, I got to watch that stupid thing. I still don't understand why he sent it to me. It's in my inbox somewhere. But if I ask just a few questions, it's all about the confirmation. When it comes to a tool, it's all about the confirmation. When it comes to an event, it's all about the confirmation. So on a tool, if I would you, he says yes. When could you do it for sure? He gives me a time. Now, let's say he doesn't say tonight. Let's say he says, I'm really busy. I can't watch it until January 12th. Okay. So if I call you on January 13th, you'll have seen it for sure, right? Okay. I'll talk to you on January 13th. What's the best number and time for me to call? All right, gotta go. Have a good one. I don't care. My goal is education and understanding, not him to fit into my agenda. I don't know what's going on in his life. Whatever time he gives me, he's going to do. Now, if I call him back, let's say he says tonight and I call him tomorrow and he hasn't watched it yet. Is that going to happen? Yes. I call him, he hasn't watched it. It's Eddie, right? I call Eddie. Eddie, did you watch it? He says, I had this and I had that. I just didn't have time. That's no problem. I know life gets in the way. You're busy, I'm busy. But, when do you think you can watch it for sure, for sure?
Probably today.
Probably today. Just let's save each other the time. Give me an absolute, there's no question it's going to happen by that time.
Okay. It kind of depends on the kids. Tomorrow morning, I'll definitely watch it.
Definitely, for sure?
For sure.
Okay. You don't need an extra day.
No, it's cool. The kids are in school. I'm cool.
All right. So if I call you after tomorrow morning, you'll see it for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Because I don't want to waste any of your time, and I know you don't want to waste mine.
Thank you.
All right. Cool. What's the best number and time for me to call after?
This number.
This number at what time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. So by 10 o'clock, you watch it for sure, right?
Yeah,
20 minutes.
Absolutely.
All right. Fantastic. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I call him tomorrow. Have you seen it? He says, I haven't. Some of you get mad. You said you're gonna. Don't get mad. Let it go. That's fine. When do you think you can see it for sure? Let's respect each other's time. He says, I can't see it till this weekend. Fantastic. I'll call you on Monday. Well, have you seen it? You'll see it for sure, right? Yes. I'll see it on Monday. And what happens if he stops answering my calls? No. He doesn't get rid of me that easy. First of all, I'll call when I said I was going to call, and I'll leave a message that said, Eddie, I'm just calling like you asked. Just give me a call at your convenience, and I hope things are okay. Right? He doesn't call back. I text the next day. I'm confused. Are you okay? I called when we asked yesterday, and I left you a message. I can only assume that something's happened. Are you all right? No response. The next day, he gets the one question mark. text. The day after that, he gets the 2 question mark text. And the day after that, he gets one more message. And the one more message is, I'm confused and I'm worried, but this will be my last message. I won't call you again unless you let me know for whatever reason what's the challenge here. The I will not call again, this will be my last message, works. They'll get back to you. And again, is my goal to get them? No, my goal is understanding. My goal is education and understanding. That's all I'm there to do. So I was really good at inviting.
Okay, so let's open up some discussion. If you haven't, this, I saved these 2 because these get into really the details of the skill. And for some people, when they're new, it's like, oh man, I don't know, this isn't the part I want to do, right? And so the reason that I asked you all, and we did the other one 2 weeks ago to watch that, is because it gives you that foundation of why you're doing it, how you're helping people. Your job is to move them down the field. Your job is to create curiosity, find out if they're open, and then move them down the field so that they are basically figuring out, is this something that interests them? It's not, as he said, the goal isn't to, quote, close the deal. That's more of a sales term, right? The goal is to give them enough information to make a decision for themselves if this is something they're interested in. That is the only goal, is to, as you said, educate and move them down. If people say no, many of you have heard me say this before. If somebody says, no, I just don't think it's a fit, or not now, or, I can't afford it right now and things are too crazy. I always just say, no problem. I completely understand. If anything ever changes, I would love to be able to help you. And that's it. Right? If they say, I'm just so busy, there's just so, everything's so crazy. Would you like me to follow up with you later? Would you like to, talk about this later? And if they say yes, great. When will that be? The beautiful thing about your InTouch app, as well as our calendar, but in the InTouch app, you can set notification reminders. So let's say you've been in the InTouch app and you've sent someone a video and they've watched it and you've tried to follow up and they've been really busy. The first options it gives you is 1 day, 3 days, and I think 7 days or something to follow up. And those notices pop up and alert you that you have a reminder. If they're telling you they're not going to be available till after Christmas, go in and put a time frame to call them after Christmas into your notifications in your InTouch app. And then you can forget about it because the app will notify you. And I can tell you, when I was really bringing, really in the more beginning and a lot of recruiting, and even now, honestly, the people that I talk to, if I don't put in my InTouch app or in my calendar the follow-up, I will forget. Because while all of you are calling me to ask important things, that's what's getting my time and attention. And I'll forget that, oh my gosh, I had Susie watch a video 3 weeks ago. So we all get busy. We all have other lives. We have other things going on. So you want to put into your calendar, whether you like a real calendar, whether you like a calendar on your phone, or whether you utilize the InTouch app. So let's have you guys, who would like to share anything they got out of that, any questions or anything that maybe experience you've had, something that's worked or a challenge. Kathy.
I love this guy, first of all. This guy is awesome. Had he been my teacher back when I was in sales years ago, I would have been a millionaire by now.
It's never too late to start.
That's right. That's right. I think the one thing is, a fear of mine is always, I'm going to bother them too much. but I liked what he said about continue to call, kind of put it on them, but still do it as a caring individual. You're concerned about why they haven't called you back, or, you know, is it something that, you know, and I had a gentleman that basically told me, don't call me, or no, don't text me again. I will let you know if I need it. And I just said, okay, that's fine. Whenever you're ready, just give me a call.
Yep.
And I just left it at that. I wasn't mad. I did feel like I bothered him, but you know, but what you were saying about following up with the app, I made a mistake. And the other day I found a lady that I was supposed to follow up with when she got back from vacation 2 months ago. And I forgot all about her. And it's like, so now do I say, hey?
You know what you do? I did it the other
Yeah.
day. I actually
Okay.
did it on Sunday. I had someone that I was supposed to follow up with, and I totally spaced it. And, you know, I knew it was in my phone. It even told me I was supposed to follow up, but I got busy and I never got back to her. It wasn't, you know, I didn't do it. And I sent a message yesterday and I said, I'm so sorry. I completely dropped the ball.
Okay.
I told you I would call you then and I didn't, but I am super, super interested in hearing what you liked best about it. And you know, I remember training with, gosh, I'm trying to think of his name now, Ray Higgins. And Ray would say, Ray Higdon, Ray and Jessica. And he would say, he would have there was always the takeaway, you know, just say, you might ask them the question, you say, if not, no big deal. Right. So when you're talking and you feel like you're bugging them, you can go back and say, look, you know, my interest is getting you enough information so that you can make a decision that's best for you. If this isn't something you're interested in, no big deal. Just let me know. Right.
Okay.
So there's always that you can do if you feel like that's what's happening. Kathy, come on in. Thank you so much, Kathy 1. We're going to get Kathy 2.
Oh, I did enjoy Eric Worre. There was many moons ago where I had a set of CDs and it was called GoPro.
Oh, I love GoPro.
I have it somewhere. I'd have to look it up. I don't think I have a CD player. But anyway, something that I learned a long time ago, and this really meant a lot, is follow through is a process. It is not an event. So the minute that I learned that, it seemed like it took a lot off your shoulders, that you don't have to worry about getting that yes right away, that if this is a relationship, you know, building business. So sometimes it takes time to build that relationship with people, and it's a process. It's never an event. Now, another thing, we talked about text messages. We need to keep in mind that text messages have no emotion in it, unless you put the little, you know, smiley faces and whatnot. So a lot of times, when people do not, you know, answer you back, it could be something as simple as they fell asleep. Okay. Their phone died. Because there have been many times that's happened to me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to do this. So it's really not about you. You need to keep that in mind. Okay. So when you take your eyes off yourself and you put them on someone else, it makes it so much easier to move forward. Okay. Trying to think, there were a couple other things I wanted to share. You know, like I said, follow through is a process. I had someone that I contacted about a year ago, and timing is everything. And we text back and forth. We made some phone calls, and then pretty soon he didn't answer me back. But you know, hey, people get busy. Just move on. There's a lot of people out there that we need to connect with. So I waited probably about, I want to say maybe it must have been about 7 or 8 months, and I called them back. I said, you know, I want to revisit that information that I shared with you about, you know, 9 months ago. And you know what? They took a look at it and they called me back, because timing is everything. At that point, they saw the value of what I was trying to share with them. So just keep that in mind, that unless they tell you no, 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 the door is never shut. It might open, but maybe down the road.
Yep. Yep, I those are brilliant and absolutely true. And if there's some of you who have not gotten GoPro, she's talking about having them on, did you say CDs or cassette?
Oh,
How was
I,
it?
I think I do have, I had cassettes. You know, I'm
Yep,
saying
yep.
we had cassette of the week, we had book of the month.
Right.
There's
Yep.
a lot of information that you can get now just simply with your phone. And it's learning, it's basically building yourself up.
Well,
getting
now all these
invested
things
in
are
yourself.
available
Absolutely.
they're available on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're going off of, right? You can go find all these things in YouTube or grab the book GoPro. I know that a few of my other distributors are watching or reading GoPro. That's a great book by Eric Worre if you've never seen it and never read it. But you can, that's why I think when we put the tools into the healthiswealth.biz, I'm going to put these 2 trainings and then I'm going to put Eric Worre's series in there. So people have an automatic go-to to look at it, rewatch it, and train because it is the most important skill that we have. Honestly, if you're sitting around and you're worrying about the compensation plan and does it pay and how do I do this and, how does every single patch work? You're going to get stuck and you're not going to move forward. And that's okay if that's where you want to be. But if you're saying, I want to move forward in my business, I want to excel, then these are the revenue generating activities: creating curiosity, opening people up to conversation, setting appointments, getting them to look at a tool or come to an event or a webinar or a Zoom. These are the things that make the business move. And if you're putting enough people into that calendar and pipeline, it's not going to really bother you when someone doesn't get back to you because you're so busy doing the others. You're not going to think about it. You'll eventually get back to them and think about it, but you won't be sitting around going, oh my gosh, I think they're mad at me. They didn't call me back. You're not going to worry about it because you're not going to have time to worry about it. Linda.
So I know all of you have heard, or most of you, Jim Rohn. Years ago, when I first started listening to him, he talked about planting seeds. And some will come to fruition and some will not. He talked about the winter, the summer, the harvest and the dry spells. But, I have a neighbor that lives nearby and I've talked about patches and patching and knees and things. And then he'd go, what's that patch? What's that patch on you? What's that? What's patch? And I'd tell him, well, that was this summer. And a couple of days ago, I got a text from his caregiver, basically. It's grandpa and then a son-in-law text me and said, hey, when you get a chance, can you come over? Because I want to talk to you. Ray wants to know if these patches really might help him. And so long story short, I patched him, stem cell, and then Eon. But the next day I went over to check on him and he said, all I have to say is something has changed. And I laughed and I said, did you talk to my husband? Because that was what my husband said the first time he was patched. But anyway, Ray's 92 and he stood up and he said, he has a walker. He said, what I mean by that is I can walk around my walker and my equilibrium isn't off. And that was one day. So that's it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
You never know what's going to come back. So
absolutely. And she talked about Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn is my all-time favorite. He just is. Go onto YouTube, find Jim Rohn, watch whatever you can watch, and you can go to Live Younger Success. And if you go to the Getting Started tab, you'll see a network marketing tab underneath that, and you'll see some network marketing videos from Jim Rohn in there as well as the Darren Hardy. Stephen.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, about texting. I was just told, I think it was last week by my wife, that if you text with capital letters, you're shouting.
Yep.
So it was like, really, like, how do you know that I'm shouting? I prefer those letters. And then, so I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, okay, I'm
So you've
shouting.
been yelling at everybody, Stephen, and you didn't even know it?
Yeah, right. So it's a new thing for me. So yeah, just I want to make you aware of, that's what you're doing when you have capital letters.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I
Yeah.
know there's these little intricacies that you just don't know until somebody tells you.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
they're yelling at me. I'm like, how do you know they're yelling at you? Because it's in caps.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
Awesome. That
great.
was really good. Thank you so much for that. That was really good.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything else they want to share or question they want to ask about this topic? Patty?
Say, Stephen, on a funny note, your name appears in capital letters.
Oh, yeah.
Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Oh, too funny. Alder?
Yeah, I was watching The Manager Maker,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things in listening to this, and I watched all of his videos as you suggested, the guy from tonight. But what I thought was really interesting, they said you get into Death Valley if you start talking too much about the patches.
Mm-hmm.
And I've found myself doing that. I start trying to explain too much. What's maybe a better way to go? Can I get some help in that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there anybody that wants to take that instead of me answering it? Mark, Mark, I don't know if you're available to chat or not. Oh, Kathy, you go ahead. Go ahead, Kathy.
Yeah, you know what? I've done that before.
Mhm.
And what I say, I says, you know what? I'm actually talking too much.
Okay.
Say it. I'm giving you too much information. We really need to meet. Or, I'm just giving you too much information and I really want you to see it for yourself. Now, another thing that I've done is, a lot of this doesn't come naturally. I have written everything down that I would say to someone, and I would sit there. Obviously, it was on the phone years ago, and it was scripting, and I would read it. Because you know what happens when you are on the phone with someone and they say something to you? What happens? What do I say? You freeze up. And something that you can say that'll give you a couple minutes to think is, that's really a good question. It gives you 2 or 3 seconds to think of the answer. But I write everything down. I would sit there and I would script it. I would read it. And if I make a mistake, it brings you back to center. So scripting is writing it down and reading it is an amazing way to go ahead and get very, very good on the phone.
I love
And
it.
now we've
Thank
got
you.
text messages.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Denise.
Hi. Yeah, I just want to make a comment on, when we're first really excited about this technology and we're sharing, and I'm finding now when, I have a lot of drop off, people are saying, well, I don't really notice a difference and it's kind of expensive, when it's really not expensive, because I'm thinking in my head, you spend more than that on a purse or a watch, or and we're talking about your life here and your anti-aging and age reversal. And one of the things that is coming to me now with working with Connie is that the setting the reasonable expectations, because I have seen so many miracles that I'm so excited that I'm sharing all these miracle stories with people, and they're valid, but also setting up the reasonable expectation that they may not feel something. And so that's where I'm going to try to make a little bit of a shift in my, business and my approach with people, is that, reminding them that they don't feel their body making vitamin D, but it's happening. And so that's coming to my mind. And I don't know if any of you have any comments about the people that kind of come to you and they say, it's a hard no. You've already reached out several times. You've sent them videos. And they're just like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm not the type of person that wants to keep beating that. There's so many people out there that do want it and that do need it. that I just don't want to keep going back to the people that are just uninterested, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. This isn't to try to change their mind. We're not in the convincing business. We are in the sifting and sorting business. We are in the business of offering and walking them down that path and figuring out, just like when someone comes in, even as a brand partner, or as, you know, maybe they just want to use it. Maybe it's just for them, and that's where they are. And that's perfectly fine. And then you're looking at your business and you're saying, but who's showing up on all the Zooms? Who's excited? Who's raising their hand? And that's where we go to work to support them, because they're ready, they're willing, and they want to learn. And we let the everybody else we just want to help them to get to wherever they want to go. And so all of you have heard, I think, and if you haven't, you should hear, Robin Muscari talks about the definition of a coach. And a coach is just like the stagecoach, right? It's moving a valued person from where they are to where they want to be, not a valued person from where they are to where you think they need to go. Okay, so that whatever we're doing, it's about moving them where they want to go and loving on the rest. And Denise, you know, we've talked about, and I think that Alder, you're going to fall in the same category. There's a lot of you that are practitioners on here. There's a lot of you that are coaches, practitioners, salespeople. We're all used to being experts, right? If you've been a sales rep, you're an expert on your product. If you've been a teacher, you're an expert on what you're teaching. If you're a practitioner, you're an expert on what it is you do, and people are used to coming to you because you're the expert. That's not network marketing. You will get stuck. You'll get some people because there are people that know, love, and trust you, and they're going to order, and maybe or maybe not, you'll keep them on, but the community's the glue. Bringing them to that Sunday night and hearing Sandy tell her story and how excited she was and the things that happened. They went, oh my gosh, I've got the same issue. Maybe this will happen for me. Community is glue, and community is education, and glue and education is what creates retention in your business. It's what keeps people locked in. So if you're not inviting people to be on a three-way call, to get on one of the Zooms where the community's on, then you're not going to have great retention because they're just going to fall off. So I'd like to, before I go to Marcy for a question, I'd like, Anne, for you to talk about, because I was sharing this earlier today with a couple different people, you and Tom, Dr. Tom Acklin, absolute experts. So much of what I know on nutrition and how the body works, I learned from the two of you. Yet you guys brought all, because I was your sponsor, right? You brought all of your people to me. Can you talk about some of the verbiage that you used to move people into a three-way call? Because I know you struggled. There were people going, no, I just want to talk to you, Anne. I don't want to talk to anybody else.
That's right. And I wanted to give them all the information, and I did at first, and it wasn't working. and Tom had the same issue, right? He and I, and I think Tom is on tonight. I think he and I both kind of struggled with wanting to give that information, because when you're a coach or you're a nurse or whatever it is that you do in the field, you're the expert, and they expect you are going to give them the information. And so that happened to me all the time. And I said to people, so I finally learned to say, when they would ask a question, I would stop myself, and I really had to think about not talking and zipping my mouth and begin to say to them, that's a really good question. And I have a friend who's been involved with this company a lot longer than I have, and she could answer that question. Let's see if she's available. And sometimes I'd call on the spot, but sometimes I would ask, when are you available? And let's set something up. And then I'd call Connie and we'd get something together. Other time I've had some people say, and there was one of my friends who said, no. I don't want to call anybody. I don't want to get on a three-way. I don't want to do this. I'm not doing it. And I said to her, look, I'm learning. You can help me learn, and you'll learn. And so let's just give this a try. Let's see what we can both learn together and see what comes up. I mean, I want all your questions answered. And I can't give you all those answers, but I know somebody who can. So let's get you on this call. And I remember this one friend got her on the call and she was resistant. Oh my God, she was so resistant. Finally got her on the call. She calls me afterwards and says, "Oh my God, Ann, that was amazing. Thank you for really pushing me to do this because I got so much from that call. I really enjoyed it." But I'll tell you, it was quite, it took me quite a while to sort of get her moving in that direction.
Oh, I remember her because boy, when I started asking questions, she just opened up like a book. She just opened up. And after the call, Ann calls me and goes, "I've known her my whole life and I didn't know the stuff she told you."
Absolutely.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you guys have always been so great at that. Marcy, and then we'll go to Dr. Pena.
Hey, Connie, I've got my sister Robin here,
Hi, Robin.
and
Hello.
she wants to share.
Sure.
I will just start with, I have a friend. I'm a nurse. I work at a hospital.
In Lexington, Kentucky.
I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and she decided to give X39 a shot. So we ordered her up and got her going. She started on Friday, and I just got off the phone with her, and she said, "Well, you know what?" She said, "My period came, and usually I get really sick and have a lot of pain." She said, "And there was no pain this time." I said, I'm going to attribute that to probably the patch, not a coincidence. What do you think about that?
I would say you're probably right. Yep, that's beautiful. That is fabulous. And so the piece of the next puzzle is with her is to what questions do you have before we get started?
Okay.
And then
Thank you very
find
much.
out what her questions are. And then for her questions, you're going to go to, because, Marcy's very new. So you're going to go to Marcy's upline, Martin, and see if can answer the questions. And if it's something like that, and you think that you need me because I'm Martin's sponsor, then you guys are going to go to that, or you're going to invite her to tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we have the doctor's Zoom. You can put her on the practitioner Zoom and Martin can get you the information for that so that you can invite her to that. Hey, that one of our practitioners is going to share some information on X39 and there's a Q&A and you can certainly ask questions. So that would be your next step. Get her on tomorrow night to somebody other than you.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Dr. Pena.
You know what? That's funny. The thing about the menstrual cramps, I haven't heard that at all. And I mean, what's that worth? Right.
Right. And I will tell you at USF, University of South Florida, when we started working with them, you're thinking of athletics. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the women's basketball coach and women's golf coach and trainer both said, "Oh my gosh, what do I do for period cramps? Because do you know how much playing time my students miss?"
And attitude.
Yes, because
attitude, man.
Yeah, so
so that's good. That goes right along, and that's like with when people with stress and when you laugh you leak, right? What's that worth?
Right.
I mean, come on,
I
guys having to
love
get
all
up
these
to pee less. And people are like, well, I don't have any pain while I'm doing this and that. I was like, you're gonna get something off of it. But first of all, I think I really want to support Ann. She is so good at so tell me about that and the way doctors think. And I'm really good at listening. I talk a lot, I know that, but I am better at getting information out of people, like you said, lifelong friends. I said, well, you didn't know that? They didn't even know that about him. I was at a seminar this weekend. I said, why didn't you tell me he had cancer? He says, I didn't even know. So I'm really good at pulling information out of people. But then, and this is Tom and Ann and practitioners, we talk until the patient goes, oh, I get it. And that doesn't work. It's you want to do what you want to follow what Ann is doing. And then what I sell for like the invite, or for a phone call up like Connie, I sell Connie. I say, you're going to love Connie. This is a relationship business. That's who, coaches me and works with me. I sell client because like you said, and when people get on, they're like, oh, I had such fun. And that's what I'm doing. I'm building a fun team. The last thing comes from Harris Williams, kind of echoes, be interesting instead of be interested instead of interesting. He says, everybody's favorite radio station is WIFM. What's in it for me? And that's what I have to keep coming back to, because I know what they need. I'm a great diagnostician. I heard them tell me, or they're wearing a shoulder brace, knee brace, whatever, pickleball. I see it. I patch them with Ice Wave. Their pain's better. Done deal. You got it, right? This works. Let's go. Let's try it. I'm good. And I'm thinking, but they didn't come to my office. They came to the pickleball court. They didn't come to get healed. They came to have fun. So even though I'm really good at, being a doctor, they're not there to see the doctor. And that's starting to sink in. And like I said, especially with Anne, I mean, she's so good at doing that. I call it Jedi mind tricks. Oh, tell me about that. You're kind of like, you're manipulating them, but in a loving way. And then I thought Kathy Loudermilk was doing sign language because she was doing this with her hands. And I was like, oh, well, she's signing. It's just where you guys are. That's it.
All right.
And everybody, this is such a great team, Kathy and Tom, not just the practitioners, but everybody who comes in and shares. And I just appreciate you all, and especially the Wednesday manager maker. What we're doing is he teaches us how to build bricks, and then when we build bricks, we'll build walls. When we can build walls, we build buildings.
Absolutely. Mark's doing a fabulous job with that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. So let's go in real quick. I'm going to share my screen one last time, and then we're going to jump on. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's just to make sure that everybody's aware. And we have, let's see here. We have launched today. The company said they were not going to do a rank bonus promotion, but they made the decision to do that, which is great. And there is a magic period that I'm going to tell you about. So it started today. Anybody who achieves, if you've already achieved a lifetime rank of manager, director, senior director, executive director, etc., you cannot, even if you fell out, you don't get to do it again, right? So it's your first time at that rank. Everyone, as you know from Manager Makers on Wednesday, managers build directors, directors build senior directors, and holding that position, everything else is just volume. And so you want to look at who are your newest people, or if you're on here and you're new, where do you want to go? What's your goal? And let's get you there, because manager is simple. You can go on to healthiswealth.biz, go down to more training videos, and you can watch Manager Maker on demand. Or please, you and your team join Mark on Wednesday night at 7:30 Eastern when he'll do the live Manager Maker presentation. And it gives you those building blocks of how to get to manager. Manager is only 4 people coming in with an order of $299 silver pack. Okay. Yes, there's something to holding them, to developing the business, to helping them get what they want in retention. But manager is that simple. 2 silvers on your left, 2 silvers on your right. You've purchased at least a gold kit or above, and you make that $100 first time rank manager. To go to director, and if you go back to, I think it's October, I think in our Telegram group, if you go back to October 23rd in the LW Health is Wealth Telegram group, you'll see the process of going to senior director. And so you'll see that all you need for to go from manager to director and earn the $300 is to have 3 silvers on each side active, meaning they're actively ordering, and have a manager on your left and a manager on your right. So if these things appeal to you, and as you move through and you're like, I'm ready to get to my next rank and I want to do it during this promotion, reach up to your sponsor or reach up to the upline above your sponsor if your sponsor isn't active, and find out, what do I do? What do I need to do? And someone will go through your office. We'll look at it. We'll look at who your people are, who might be raising their hand, because again, it's not, when you start trying to create managers and directors underneath you, it's not, do you want to go? I mean, you could say, yeah, I'm going senior director. I need my 2 directors. But you got to have 2 people raising their hand that say they want to go director to get there. And if you don't, you need to go out and keep recruiting until you find the people that do want to build with you. So these are the, from the manager, the director, and the senior director. Once you achieve it, you get to, that is your bonus. For the executive directors and above, you'll get some bonus when you achieve it, and then you do have to hold it. So there's, you've got to hold it for, I think, 6 weeks. There's a few things. Now, the magic period. The magic period is from December 11th to December 24th, because this is when, by achieving senior director, you could also earn the Cancun trip. Because anybody who goes senior director automatically wins the Cancun trip. So if you're sitting there and you want to go senior director, if you can get there between today and December 24th, you not only get the $1,000 bonus, but you get the Cancun trip. So if that's on your radar, we want to dig in. Those of us that are in your upline want to help you get there, and help you plan out your strategy for you and your team in getting there. And of course, executive director, if you go executive director, you get your $1,500, but you also get to earn, and you have until the end of February to earn that one and hold it. And then you get the Greek Isle, 20th anniversary Greek Isle trip. And so the executive, the senior director and the executive director, you do have to hold them for a certain amount of weeks. And that's why senior director for Cancun, you got to get it by the 24th and hold it. And I think it's 5 weeks or something you have to hold it. And same with executive director, you have to hold a certain amount of weeks. So if you're someone that's interested in that and we can help you, just let us know, and get with your upline, and we'll all figure out and support you on what to do. The worst thing that's going to happen when you go for a new rank and you push is you're going to create momentum, because you're going to create and get yourself into activity. And then guess what? You may not hit it, but you're going to hit it the next time you go for it, because you're going to create the foundation you need by getting into action. So that's all I have for tonight. We're a little over, so thank you guys for your extra time. And we'll get this recording into the Telegram group and the Messenger group here tonight or tomorrow. And we will clip this down where we end it, the end of everybody sharing about Eric Worre's videos, and we'll get that eventually into our team trainings as well. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Tony.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night. That was awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connie.
Bye.
Thank you.